online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello and welcome, Librarians fans. Welcome to the Librarians AfterBuzz After Show. We are talking about the Librarians in the Apple of Discord. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. With me, we got a full panel. Tauri J. Miller.
Hey, hey.
Sam Davidson.
Hey, guys.
And we are talking about dragons, or lack thereof. What did you guys think of this episode? It was a whirlwind adventure with some politics.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was really fun. You got to see everyone's dark side, so that was cool. And also, I kind of enjoyed the politics. It made me feel like it was Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I liked it a lot. I did enjoy seeing the bad sides, especially of Cassandra, and I kind of liked the lovey stuff that we saw happen towards the end. I was into it. I was into that, yeah.
Yeah, this episode it had everything. It had romance, it had sword fighting, adventure. Well, there was a sword, yeah.
But no dragons, really.
There was an eye of a dragon.
Yeah, and the back, I think, or a tail, or whatever that was at the beginning.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was disappointed at the lack of actual dragons.
Yeah, if you're going to do dragons.
I would have liked more, even if we saw more eyes or a tail or like a leg, something. I would have liked that. All right, so
a lot of work, man.
No. If the whole promo is going to be dragons, what a dragon's coming here. Oh, there are dragons in Rome. And then that's it. I was disappointed.
I second.
Understandable.
Yeah.
But we did learn that there's a difference between the Eastern dragons and the Western dragons. The Eastern dragons are elemental spirits, whereas the Western dragons are, as I think it was Jenkins it was Flynn who said they're thugs and hoarders.
I know, I love that. I was just picturing dragons that were thugs and hoarders, It's pretty awesome thing to think about in your mind.
Well, I know that I started thinking about all the different shows and stuff about dragons, and okay, so Smaug would have been a Western dragon because he hoards all the jewels.
Right.
And then Mushu from Mulan is obviously an Eastern dragon.
Yes.
Because he was her spirit guide. I was like, I get it. Now I just started to separate dragons in my head.
I'm so happy for you. I'm very proud of you, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a big step.
Thanks. Well, I mean, think about How to Train Your Dragon, and some of those are Eastern dragons and some of them are Western dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
You have something to say?
I feel like they're all Western dragons.
I feel like they had some that were more spiritual.
Okay.
Like Night Fury. Toothless. He's more spiritual.
Well, I mean, it's also a breakdown in the way that they're structured. For example, Smaug is more like a regular lizard, like a kimono dragon or something like that. And that's the Western style. Whereas the Eastern style are more long, snake-like. They might have smaller appendages, but usually they're very long, snake-like with... I won't call them whiskers, but like a mustachy thingy. Yeah.
I love that you are explaining dragons to us.
I'm so impressed right now.
Yeah. That was awesome.
I'm sitting there, I'm like...
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here, Tauri.
Good to be
so
here.
Glad. All right.
Dragon expert.
Yeah. So glad we have you. Speaking of a dragon expert, we meet Mr. Drake, who is the Eastern dragon representative. He's kind of a dragon in human form.
Weird guy. Weird guy.
Yeah. And he shows up, and we learn a lot about the librarians and what they do in this world, aside from chasing down artifacts.
Right.
They are the arbiters, during any sort of intercessions that may need to happen. So we have Mr. Drake, who asks for an intercession between the two sides of dragonhood. That's what I'm calling it. What did you guys think about this whole, traditional way to do things and how Ezekiel kind of got stuck into it? Yes.
I think he's like, initially you're like, yeah, he's the worst person to arbitrate these things. However, he's smart, and he also has an edge to him, which is what politics is all about. It's all about kind of like figuring out the best possible solution with a bunch of people who don't want to compromise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nicely put.
I agree very much, but he's a bit of a weasel too, which is also perfect for that position. He's not going to feel guilty about doing something that's kind of messed up. Just saying, politicians sometimes do what they got to do.
Yeah.
Everyone else has like a lot of morals. He doesn't so much.
We get to meet even more of these politicians when the intercession becomes a conclave, and we have Dobra of the City of Bronze, who represents the djinn. He's a genie. He was straight up a genie. I was like, what? Does no one notice he's a genie?
Well, I like that his card was a little lamp.
Yeah.
It was very subtle, though. It was very subtle. I was like, wait, is it? Yeah. It's a genie. It's a genie.
I like that they each showed up with cards of different shapes. We also got Lady Salandria of the Fey regions, and I don't know about anybody here who's ever watched Lost Girl. I was like, oh, she's from Lost Girl. Like, she came down from Canada, to Oregon for this meeting.
Yeah.
We had Cooklin of the Iron Kingdom. I'm pretty sure he came from Game of Thrones. And then that tall, lanky woman who doesn't have a name, and it's just consonants on her card.
Yeah.
I want to know who she represents.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on it. I don't get it. Are we supposed to know?
I think we're not. I think the idea is that she's something else.
Right. Yeah.
It was weird.
Or probably something like Russian or Germanic, where it's very consonant heavy languages.
I hope someone Russian or German is like, clearly she represents this mythical thing that you silly Americans
Please
don't know.
tell us.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Dulaque shows up, and he goes on his rampage of why he's there. Which at that point, eating that pizza, I was like, oh, he's behind all this. Got it. Yeah. And he shows up to do what he, wanted this to be, was to get rid of the librarians. I had talked to you guys before the show about what I thought was going to happen and where I thought it was going to go. But what did you guys think when Dulaque shows up and proposes that we get rid of the librarians and somehow knew that the librarians would end up kind of screwing themselves over a bit with Ezekiel leading? What did you guys think when you saw Dulaque?
Well, you kind of said it a little bit in that, he knew the B team was on the job, so he knew that they weren't going to follow all the rituals and everything. And I think I had mentioned earlier that I had thought that it was going to be like a giant mob hit, like all the leaders were going to get taken out because they were gathering in one place. But it was not that. I'm glad it was Dulaque because they're keeping the enemy consistent.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, like, what his ultimate end goal is. Like, does he want the library? Does he want the library destroyed? Like, what does he want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me think he wants the library. He wants us to think that he thinks they're stupid, they're worthless, like they shouldn't be there. But he knows, I think, that how powerful they are, how powerful they could be, especially now that there's all of them together. Yeah. It makes them even more of a threat because now there's more than one librarian. There's these, but they all have they all have weaknesses and faults that are very apparent, and they can't really hide them yet. Right. So they're weak, and he's trying to take them out while he can.
Yeah. I had said earlier to you guys that I was kind of hoping, this is going to anger a lot of fans, but I was hoping that Dulaque was successful in having everyone be like, you know what, we don't need the library anymore, because then we have this team who not only is trying to save us all, but is being hunted. They're, discredited by their peers. And I think that would have taken this whole story in a completely different and very interesting storyline. It didn't go that way, which I guess is also good.
Yes, it's good.
It would have been a really dark turn. Just having them being hunted and trying to figure that whole thing out. I mean, because their base of operations is the annex, so it's like it wouldn't be hard to find them, because without the annex, I mean, they don't really have a lot of leeway. They don't have a lot of resources.
And I also think, though, that at this point in the show and at their librarian point, like, they're too weak as a group to actually, like, have war brought on them. It would be so unrealistic because,
That's
like, they
true.
would die. Maybe at the end of the season or, like, season 2, but, like, they still need more practice together as a team because there's no way they would survive that at
That's
this point.
true. They would have turned on each other
Yeah.
to start off with, especially when we, Cassandra, that whole story. So I think you guys are right. I apologize for my terrible
Hey,
thought.
no, don't apologize. It's a good it's a good storyline. I think it's just not ready for it yet.
Yeah, I agree. But
haven't put in the groundwork.
soon, maybe at some point, that probably will happen.
Yeah. All right, librarian producers, put that in your back pocket.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
They're like, we're writing it right now.
Yeah, great. So Dulaque is trying to overthrow the librarian. We get kind of a lot of information about him and Jenkins, yet no information in that same thing, and we will get to that. But before we do, I want to take a moment to thank our fans for listening. Guys, thank you. We clearly are fans of this show, and the fan base of the show is growing every week.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. So thank you for watching and streaming and downloading and listening, all that good stuff. We do this because we like the show, and we ask you guys to do one very simple thing for us. Go onto iTunes, rate and review us. Unfortunately, we didn't have any new reviews this week, but we do have a lot of ratings. So when you click the stars, you can also leave a comment. Let us know if you like us, if you don't like us, what you think of Dulaque, and what your favorite type of dragon is. That's what I want to know. Eastern, Western, Middle-earn. Sure.
Yeah.
Middle Earth.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm going with it. All right. Let's talk about the Apple of Discord.
Yes.
So that's where the librarians are split up this episode. We have 2 missions, which is kind of parallel to the fact that we had 2 missions to begin with of the librarians. Flynn going off to find the library, Bayard staying around to train everybody. So again, 2 missions. We have Jenkins and Ezekiel dealing with the conclave, and the others are looking for this mysterious pearl that was stolen. And we get to the Vatican. We go into the Vatican and we find, first we have this great interaction between Stone and Cassandra where she's figuring things out and he's calming her down. And I'm going to say it, that I think that Sam was right.
Yep.
I want to give you credit where credit's due.
Oh, thank you.
That is definitely a shipping moment right there.
Yeah.
That's a relationship waiting to happen. And it's adorable.
Adorable. So adorable.
I wasn't on
love
board
it.
before. I'm super on board now.
He can calm her down.
Yeah.
God, I just got the chills. There's something.
They're so cute together.
This is adorable.
Yeah. So they go into this booby-trapped room where we have these darts. And I want to talk about these darts because I got really upset. So these darts, which they go with sound. Sound causes them to fire. So instead of the opposite of making them fire and being silent, Flynn is like, I'm going to draw the fire by making as much noise as possible. Sure. All right. Let's say that's a good idea as opposed to just being quiet.
Well,
Yes.
all right. So here's
Go.
how I logic
Please.
it. Because so if you attempt to be silent, you don't know what the decibel limit
Right.
is. So if you drop a pin, that could start the flurry, right? So instead of trying to risk it and going, all right, I'll tiptoe and maybe get hit by a dart, he goes, all right, I'm going to essentially control it however I best can, and then you can use the interim to grab the pearl.
Okay.
So it's controlling as opposed to testing.
Well, before they even went in, they could test it from outside. They could whisper and see, whispers are still too loud. And then see that, even a whisper's too loud, therefore they had to draw. I'm just saying they could have done. And also,
Yes.
okay, so here's the other thing that really bugged me. The windows for the darts were at a certain level in the room. Below that level, there were no darts. And it wasn't low to the floor. It was at halfway through the room.
Right.
So on all fours, they would have been fine.
Oh, that's
Noise or
true.
no noise? I rewinded. Sorry, that minor detail bothered me so much.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, logic it for me.
Okay, maybe, they were meant to crawl under, but even though they didn't. But I think, though, that the reason is that, Flynn has probably been in a situation many times where there's been darts flying through rooms. It's probably not his first rodeo.
Course.
So he was just like, okay, all the other times that I was in rooms with darts that get let off by sound, this is what I did. So he's, he might seem aloof and silly, but he's not stupid. There's a reason he's still alive right now, which is pretty much a miracle because he seems kind of idiotic.
I will take it. Also, I think he's used to being alone. And so he was like, I know how I would do this. I'm not going to question anything else. So, okay, I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you for
He does need to be more of a
with me.
team player, though, and think about others, because that was very dangerous.
Yes, it was.
I thought your issue was going to be the fact that these darts are continuously going. And so, like, there's no giant wall of darts. It's just like dart, 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 dart.
They didn't run out?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought about that too, and that didn't bother me. That I was okay with, because they're shooting across. So in my mind, they shoot across the way like a bowling ball. You throw it, and then it like goes through a mechanism and comes back up. So as it went through, it like came around and then went the other way. So I was okay
Fair
with.
enough.
Yeah, no, I thought about that. I was like, yeah, no, that's fine. Good. I feel better. That dart thing really bugged me. All right, so we have the Apple of Discord, which, do you know the history? Talk to us.
Yes. So the Apple of Discord, its original story kind of reflects the story of this week's episode in that it was, so Eris there was like a big party or meeting of the gods, and Eris, the goddess of discord, wasn't invited, and so she was super mad.
Yeah.
And decided that she would inscribe to the fairest on a golden apple and throw it in the middle of the gods. And so all of the like female gods got really, like, they were like, who is this apple for? And so it started a war between them, and the events eventually led to the Trojan War.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this apple brings out the worst version of yourself, which we see in Stone. Apparently, his worst version is that he doesn't think you appreciate art as much as he does. And so he's aggressive about his art.
So tame.
That is I was like, guys, this could be so much, because he's like
he's the biggest, physically strongest out of everyone.
And Christian Kane has amazing fighting skills.
Yeah.
And does his own stunts. I wanted to see this go somewhere else completely.
We know.
And I know all the Caniacs out there also. That's what they're called, the Caniacs. Also wanted to see it go where I wanted to see it go. Yeah, I support the Caniacs.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I'm sure. Okay, he's got to like take his shirt off at some point, right? I mean, it's got to happen. It'll happen.
Is that what we were talking about?
That's what I was thinking about when I'm thinking about him throwing things,
Yeah.
hurting people, but
Roar.
shirtless. So.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Well, okay, nothing. But character-wise, it made sense because, like, he always gets in bar fights. That's a thing that he did at home. But, like, when he is at home with his people, like, his main suppressed thing is his love for art. So it makes sense that, like, his worst aspect would be essentially heightening his love and his anger towards people's disappreciation for it, because no one around him appreciates it.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. You're very in touch with him.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for applying logic to that one, too.
Hi, Caniac right here.
No.
No?
No.
Is that not a thing?
That's not how it works.
Okay.
All right, so Cassandra, who, when she has the apple, takes off her dress. Can we talk about what an amazing body she has? She's got like a six-pack hidden under there.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, shorts on top of her leggings under the dress.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
Great fashion sense. She could be ahead of her time, okay?
Okay. Leopard shorts
I know, I'm joking.
with the green. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was
What
cute.
do I know
She's
about
still
fashion?
cute.
Yeah, no, adorable. Evil Cassandra is adorable. Her whole I want more power. And then when she's explaining the power plant and how she's going to kill all these people, she was just so cute about it.
Yeah.
It was freaking adorable.
But it was really cool, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, super cool how they did that. I liked that a lot.
Especially the fight scene
With
where she's
Lamia?
just using the pressure
she's like,
points and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Oh,
Cool.
I like she's standing there with her apple. She's like, okay, I see it. Yep. All right, this is where I'm gonna hate you. Like, so cute. Just want to pet her like a cat. She's adorable. She's adorable. And then we get Eve and Flynn who touch it together.
Did you say touch it together? Oh,
The apple.
sorry.
Oh, yes.
Whoa. Sorry. My mind is
Yeah.
in the gutter, obviously.
I see that.
Yeah.
That's okay. It'll go through a
touch the apple
mechanism and come
together.
Nice.
They touch the apple together. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And they become this weird, aggressive. They kind of have the same path or the same idea, but have different ways of going about it. So Baird is very aggressively into Flynn and is like, we could be together and do awesome things. And Flynn is like, you're right, we could take over the world because I'm so powerful and you're so powerful. Oh, it was a very aggressive is the only word that comes to mind.
Right.
Sequence, because
Yeah.
it felt very.
I mean, two strong characters butting heads. I mean, who's on top?
Who's on top is
Yeah.
what they were fighting about.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they both wanted kind of the same thing, which is interesting that, I could believe that Flynn, who's like, I have all this magic at my disposal. I could believe that. But Baird, I feel disappointed in her
Why?
because I feel like she is more, in my mind at least, she's this protector and this, she cares very much about being good and helping and whatever. And so her being like, we could be so powerful together and take over, feels almost like I don't see her going that way.
Well, actually, Flynn was the takeover. Like hers was like, we could run away and have a penthouse somewhere, and he was like, yes, after we take over the world, because it's just like you said in that, like, she is very much a protector and she's all about responsibility. So the worst version of her is to essentially abandon that responsibility.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, she's a woman and it sucks, but like she does have a weakness, for a man, and she's ready to in her worst sense, like she's just ready to throw it out the window and just who cares about anybody. And she's just so aggressive towards him. And he likes her. He digs her. Totally digs her. But like she sometimes I feel like is like about to eat him. I'm just like, all right, calm down.
It's funny, as I said in the first episode, when they had that kiss that I felt like it came out of nowhere and it felt really awkward and their relationship didn't feel right to me. And this episode, seeing them in this, with the apple, made me be like, oh, okay. Like they are really just passionate about each other and they couldn't control it in the first episode. And so now we see how much they really did want each other. Because now they're like, nah, screw it. Ah. Okay, let's talk about Jenkins and Doolock. So Jenkins is dealing with, that's what I'm going to call it, dealing with our little friend.
Yes.
And the conclave. And as Ezekiel is, trying to figure out who he is and trying to run this conclave, Jenkins kind of gives up and leaves.
Right.
Luckily, Ezekiel's like, what the heck, man? And they talk about it, and we find out that Jenkins had to choose a side in a complicated, and then doesn't finish that sentence. And then later, he just doesn't finish his sentences this whole, and I was like, you're giving us information and then stopping. Like, it was a very complicated, what was it? Was it a war? Was it a friendship? Was it a situation? What was it? I'm asking you guys.
I mean, I'm assuming it had something to do with like maybe the establishment of the library. I mean, because they mention that like thousands of years have passed. So I'm assuming it, like at the beginning when they were forming the library, like it was probably a very big controversy. And so at some point he chose Dulac's side, and then he was essentially banished to the annex.
Interesting. I took it as I think Dulaque was part of the building of, I'm going to go with the library, that they built the library. Here's the information we have. Here's the information we have. That they had to choose a side. Dulac's like, we never chose. We were always, our side was given to us. And then Jenkins is like, no, we chose. And Jenkins was tired of choosing, which is how he ended up in the annex. And Doolock offers Jenkins to join him on his side, and that they chose thousands of years ago, which here's how I took this, and I want your opinion on this. Thousands of years ago, Doolock and Jenkins were there. What? And they were part of something to do with magic and dealing with it. So maybe, they were there when the Sword and the Stone and Excalibur and all that happened, and they had to decide what to do. And Jenkins chose the side of making a library, and Doolock helped out or was part of that. And then I think Doolock chose the other side, and Jenkins stayed with the library side. And when he got sick of arguing or helping or doing whatever, he got banished to the annex.
Okay.
That's what I took. Thoughts?
That's a really good thought. I didn't think about that, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. I also think there's a lot that Jenkins can't tell everybody else, like Ezekiel, and there's things and I think that was a lot of his half sentences.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I can't tell you this. Like, he is just literally a library of knowledge. He's been around obviously now for so long.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, what is he? But
Yeah.
I'm so like, is he, is it something supernatural? I'm just really confused now. I have so many questions about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still confused. That's what I think. Oh, and I kind of think they used to be lovers.
I don't think that is it, but I would love it. Because he says, we chose, I wrote it down. We chose, and, when we were in he wrote something. I wrote it down. I lost it. He said something like, we used to be whatever we were. And I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Friends, lovers, kings, teammates? What does that mean?
Well, I took it to imply that they were inhuman, like in the way that they kind of seeded that Drake is a dragon inside of human skin. Maybe they are creatures inside of human skin.
Ooh.
Like gods
What
or
kind
like
of creatures?
dragons?
I mean, they could be dragons. They could be, gods would be really interesting,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be crazy.
My question is then, Judson, who doesn't seem to be able to die and can, as we saw in the movies, can appear at will, and as we saw in the show, appears in the mirror at any time he feels like it. Was he also one of them? Is he still one of them? Because we know he's not gone. He does appear once or twice in the mirror. Was the library founded by magical creatures? Maybe they're like elves, like little itty bitty elves in giant human suits, like in Men in Black.
That would be awesome.
The face opens. There were so many half sentences, and we got so much information, and then it stopped. It was killing me.
I really hope that they explain that.
I'm sure they will.
I just, I'm so curious now. I really want to know more.
Yeah. I feel like this episode specifically, especially with this a little bit of information from Dulaque and Jenkins, I feel like it would tie in really well with Lost Girl, with Trick from Lost Girl, who is he's the Blood King and he knows all the history and the whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like they are one of him. That's what I want. I want this show to connect with that show. That would be amazing. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Flynn. Let's go back to talking about the romance. Our episode ends with Flynn giving Baird transfer papers, saying, you can either sign these and be part of our team, or you can toss them and leave. It's your decision. I shouldn't have put you in this position. So romantic. What did you guys think about this whole sequence, which ended with a kiss and him disappearing?
Okay. I think that it was sweet, but also if she were to have left, like, that would have been messed up. Like, I can't even believe that, like, that. I mean, I guess it was nice of him to, like, give her an option.
Yeah.
But, like, she always had a choice, I thought. And really weird how he just disappeared. Kind of rude. Like, they need to be together in a suite. Like, she's, like, really, like, she's about to pounce on him, you can tell. And he keeps on disappearing.
Well, that's why he disappeared, though, so that she wouldn't have time to change her mind.
Yeah.
Well, I mean pounce on him, like, in the bedroom.
No, we know what you meant.
I got you.
We understood you.
Okay. But it was sweet, and I liked it. I like them. But he's like a little boy. He's an annoying little, like, a man that acts like a little boy that can't really, like, figure it out or, like, stay, because she wants him. I mean, she understands now he has to go and do his thing, but still it's unclear exactly what he's doing, and it's a bit frustrating. But I think they're adorable, and it's a lot of it's very smart of the writers to keep on building up so much tension and have the audience be like, it's so frustrating. I just want them to, like, do it or stay together, work together, whatever.
Right.
So, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, and it was nice of him to offer to stay as long as she was there. So that was a cute little thing that happened. I didn't for a moment expect that she'd leave, because, like, throughout the episode, it was her going, these kids are my kids. Like, I'm responsible for them. So, like, for her to leave would be super weird. And, like, there's no way that she can go back to being just a regular civilian, you know? Just knowing what she does, she'd spend every waking moment going, I wonder what the guys are doing. I wonder what kind of threats threatening the world.
Yeah. I think also, I feel like it's silly for her to sign these transfer papers, because so far she's used her NATO status like multiple times to save them in situations. In this episode alone, she used it in the museum. Like, girl, we need that. We need your status. We need your badge. Why would we, Flynn, why would we get those papers? Like, she should be a liaison, maybe, so that we can have her badge. Or they should call up the leverage team and make fake badges for them. That would be amazing. What is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about in this episode? Sorry, I was just so excited about this relationship, and with Stone and Cassandra, and that he brought her dress. Aw, she's like, wait, where's my clothing? Here you go, I got it for you. Anything I missed?
Yeah, I just really like them. How he's like, I listen. I'm like, yeah, you listen.
Yeah, he very clearly was listening, and I think he's gotten over his distrust of her, which was for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
That distrust is gone. And we got some Lamia good stuff.
Yeah.
I want her to switch sides.
I feel like it's in the works. I mean, just that moment when she and Flynn are trying to get the apple from Baird, I believe it was. Yep. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like she's part of the team. So, like, at some point, Dulaque has to betray her, and she's going to join Team Librarian.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, there's a reason, because I thought when she was first introduced, like, oh, she'll be in an episode or two, because there's always new bad guys.
Yeah.
But she's been in several at this point, and they're continuing her character, which they have to be doing for a reason.
Yeah.
Which, I think she's kind of slowly developing a liking for them.
Yeah. What is happening today? Greatest line she said. No, I agree. I would love to have her switch sides. That'd be great. And then there could be a little love triangle.
Yeah, I'm like, who's she gonna get with?
I think Stone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're lucky, Baird, but I don't see that happening. No, just me.
Still not lost.
Yeah, it's still
Wrong show.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's time to head into predictions.
And now,
yeah.
you're AFTERBUZZ.
So the next episode, it seems that the fairy tales are coming to life. Okay. And the librarians are affected and kind of becoming fairy tale characters. Do you think we will get a crossover with Grimm, which also takes place in Portland? Anybody?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh. Okay. A crossover with Once Upon a Time?
Yeah.
No, they would never. They're not the same network. So they would never do that.
Still.
Yeah, not even in the same town.
Maybe in Yael's dreams.
Yeah.
That'd
Well,
be cool.
In Yael's dreams, a lot of things are happening. let's get back to the show, guys. What do you guys think is going to happen in the next episode? Any predictions? Or the rest of the season? We're past the halfway point.
Yeah, that's true. I think next week is going to be like even more of a platform for love stories, obviously, which, I do like that they're doing more of that. And Cassandra and Stone, and, I just think that their relationship will really, I'm just obsessed with it, and it'll develop. There's going to be another big bad. And I do really want to know more about Jenkins. I don't know if it's going to be next week, probably in like the latter episodes, because I think he's going to end up kind of tying up the season and releasing a lot of information and kind of like blowing our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tauri.
I'm going to assume that in the next episode, we're going to get a lot of super duper cheeky like remarks about the fairy tale stuff. I'm assuming there's going to be more like side switchy stuff, like maybe this fairy tale coming to life will make people change their attitudes. Like this might be a good opportunity for Lamia to be like, I feel good now because of fairy tales, and come on to the other side. I'm hoping that we get a little bit more of the library stuff, like just trying to get back into that sector. But I don't think that will be a deal. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, it might be. I mean, it's about fairy tales, which you would find in a library.
That's true.
Yeah.
Books and such.
That's probably how the whole thing starts now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Books.
Yeah, in the library.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I know that when I was talking to John Rogers when he came in, he said that next week's episode is going to be a very big, exciting episode for Baird. So make sure that you all tune in. Nice. Sam, why don't you tell the people where they can find you online?
You can find me online at samdavidsonentertainment.com and on Twitter and Instagram at samd43.
Awesome. Tauri.
You can find me on Twitter at TauriJ. That's TaurijAY.
Excellent. And of course, you can find me online at yael.tv. That's yael.tv. And on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at Yael Tygiel. That's YaelTygiel. We'll see you next week for more Librarians.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.